Severe weather can destroy a home in seconds. There's no time to think, only time to act. Have a kit so you're ready for any emergency. Develop a plan for what you and your family will do before disaster strikes, and stay informed during severe weather any way you can. It can be the difference between losing your possessions and losing your life. Just ask the owners of this house. Visit ready.gov for ways to prepare your family for emergencies.
Hello, and welcome to the Road to Recovery, where we offer hope and health and healing to those who are struggling with addiction. I'm Tricia Saunders, the CEO at the Recovery Center, and we have mixed things up today. With me is our co-host, Steve Rauch, and we are going to have a conversation today. So how did I do with the intro?
Outstanding. You're probably going to be the new leader here.
Well, that was fun. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Steve. So we're gonna talk about things from a little bit of a different perspective today. We've had some conversations about people who are struggling with addiction and their loved ones, and how we get away from our values, really, and that causes more in our struggle. And I think it's a barrier to people getting better when they're ready to. So tell us a little bit about your background, because most people know you as a radio personality,
Yep.
but really there's a lot more to you than that.
Well, I'm not sure how much more there is, but my father founded the church that I pastor. His name was Bob Rauch, and he founded that July the 9th, 1972. And he was the only pastor until he retired. He was the pastor for 32 years. I was his associate for 7 years, and then the church decided that after he retired that they would hire me as the primary pastor. Sometimes they use senior pastor, but I'm too young for that. So,
absolutely, we're the same age.
Yeah, right, exactly. So primary pastor, you understand. In my dad's, I grew up in a preacher's home, and so in his line of work, he dealt with folks who had some challenges in the addiction area. He actually experienced a lot more of it personally than I did. His father was an alcoholic, was abusive, and there were some real challenges for him. He began his journey of faith when he was 15 years old, and he committed to trying to break the chain of addiction. And so he got married to my mom. They were both 20 years old, and my sister came along a couple of years later, and I came along a couple of years after that. And then we have a couple of other siblings. And my dad made a commitment that he was going to yield to his spiritual strength to avoid some of the pitfalls of addiction and break the chain of addiction in his family. He actually lost a brother. He took his own life at 29 years old. And he had another brother who was very heavily involved in alcoholism, and it really put a strain on his relationships and so forth. And so my dad made the commitment, I'm not going to go down that path, and I'm not going to lead my family down that path. So I have been the recipient of an extra special blessing to have avoided some of the challenges that even he had to endure in his life. And so that's been really good. And then as a pastor, of course, I would see him working with people who had addiction challenges and struggles in their life. And that was neat to have a front row seat to see how we deal with these things from a spiritual standpoint, but also families that are broken or struggling or challenged. And so that was good education for me.
Sure. Okay, so you were working on becoming a pastor, which maybe at the time you didn't even know it. What else was going on in your life? Tell us a little bit about your other skills and interests. And
yeah.
I actually heard that you rode in on a motorcycle.
I did. My dad has always owned a motorcycle as long as I can remember. My dad passed away May the 1st, 2009. After his death, my family said, your dad would want you to have his motorcycle. So I rode it to the studio today. Yes, it's one of the joys of my life. Of course, at 90.9 FM, my father founded the radio station on July of 1988. And so I've been involved in radio for quite some time. I've had the privilege of refereeing Special Olympics basketball. I did that for about 17 years. So there's just a lot of fun activities that I've been able to participate in. Was married in 1992. I'm blessed with 4 children. I like to say 3 by birth and 1 by choice. We adopted a young man from Ethiopia about 4 years ago. And so it's important to me that I continue that foundation that my father established for me. My wife had some addiction challenges in her family, and so we covenanted together that we're going to do the best we can, and we know things happen, but we're going to do the best we can to have a healthy home for ourselves, our marriage, and also for our children.
Well, that's beautiful. You've got a lot of things going on, and it sounds like you're really following your father's footsteps. So
we're definitely trying to do that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also, I received my Bachelor of Arts in Religion at Ohio Christian University, received an associate degree at Southeastern Business College right here in town in business. And I kind of watched my dad, and then I volunteered for a while, and then I was the associate pastor for 7 years, and now the primary pastor since 2004. In my ministry, I have definitely seen a significant increase in addiction challenges and the corollary effects of what that does to families, young people, children, moms and dads who are raising grandchildren for the express reason that their children, have taken this path and are struggling to find a way out. One of the deep passions of my heart as a minister, this is something that my father taught me. He said, Steve, sometimes ministers just make everything a spiritual problem. And I think those who are struggling with addiction, spiritual problem is only part of the problem. There's mental challenges, there's emotional challenges, there's physical challenges. You and I have talked a lot about the physical changes that happen in a person who's addicted, especially to opiates or heroin, and that needs to be fixed even medically. And it's with counseling and other medications psychologically that can help. But there is the definite spiritual element. I know the Recovery Center is very focused on that. AA and 12-step programs, NA, there's a spiritual element. And so it is a part of wholeness and healing and hope and help for an individual. And I consider it a privilege to be able to help to partner with other people to be one element of the help for individuals and families.
That's beautiful. And I remember, I think one of the first times we talked, you called me because you had somebody come to you who connected with you because they felt safe and comfortable talking to you. I was fascinated by that because what we see a lot of times is that people get away from their spiritual base as things are going wrong in their life, and then they're afraid to correct that. They're very shameful. There's so much shame in addiction, and they feel guilty about things that have happened. But people have repeatedly, in the time that I've known you, reached out to you as a pastor to say, what can I do to get my life turned around? So how do you embrace that and make people feel comfortable that they can come to you in a non-judgmental manner and give them guidance? How has that happened for you?
Well, a couple of ways, I think. One, I know from the experiences that my father shared with me how devastating it can be to the family. I also have worked with lots of individuals. This addiction issue has touched my family in various and sundry ways, even in the recent past. And I've looked into the eyes of family members who are struggling with addiction, and you see the hurt and the pain and the struggle they're dealing with. I've cried with their parents, others who will stop me after church and say, my son is hooked on heroin and I want to help him, but everything I've tried to do hasn't helped him. And I'm going to send him to rehabilitation. And one particular story that I recall, the mom came to me the next week and says he hates it. He wants me to come get him. And I said, please don't go get him because he needs this period of time. And you're doing the right thing. Hang in there. It's going to get better. And 2 weeks later, she said, it's amazing. He loves it there. He's getting clean and sober. When I see her, I ask her how he's doing. Oh, he's 1 year sober, now 2 years
so
sober.
cool.
So there's hope there. One of the biggest challenges in the spiritual side of things is I think people have a misunderstanding about who God is.
Okay.
I will have people say to me, oh, I don't want to go to church, lightning bolt, God will strike me dead. And I do my best to remind them that's not the God we serve. Mm-hmm. The God we serve made you. In Genesis, it says we were made in the image and likeness of God. In the Psalms, we were fearfully and wonderfully made when he saw us in our mom's womb. In Isaiah, it says he wrote our name on his hand. We're that important to us, to him. And so he's not looking to hurt us. He's looking to help us. And so I think when we better understand who God is and the connection he wants to have with us, then we don't have to be afraid to talk to him and say, man, I've really messed up here, or man, I'm really having a struggle here, and I need somebody to help. Again, go to your doctor, go to your therapist, go to the recovery center, but go to God as well, and you'll reach that wholeness when you add the spiritual element of strength that you need. But God does not have it out for you. God is not angry with you. God is your friend, and he wants to help you, and that's the message we try to send.
That's great. We've talked some about spirituality, and I know in Narcotics Anonymous and AA, they learn a lot about spirituality.
Yes.
What's the difference between spirituality and religion?
I think religion is, quite frankly, has a little bit of a negative connotation because in it's listed a lot of do's and don'ts. If you don't give money to the church, or if you don't do all the things we ask you to do, or if you don't go as often as you should, then God is angry with you. And then people see that as religion. Well, I have to do this and I have to do that, or I can't do this or I can't do that. That is religion. And I understand why that's negative. And quite frankly, I've had people say to me, I don't like religion. And I tell them, you know what? I don't either. I don't. I like a relationship with God that is built on love and friendship and connection and support and encouragement. Does that mean God is upset with me when I do something I shouldn't? Yeah, but not in that anger that he wants to eliminate me. It is an anger of, I'm disappointed in what you did. Let me help you do the right thing the next time. And so that is what I see the difference between religion and relationship. A relationship is a connection with God the Father as the Heavenly Father, but also our friend, where religion is just a kind of a list of do's and don'ts. And when we develop our spiritual needs as a connection with a friend or God the Father, it will be a healthier spiritual journey for us. If we are only focused on religion, well, I got to do this, or I got to go to church, or I got to pray a certain number of times a day, or say certain words, then it'll be more of a negative thing. So I try to remove the religion piece and really make it about a relationship.
Well, thank you for that clarification, and it was a very hopeful message too that you
Yes.
provided. Well, we're about out of time already, and I really appreciate the opportunity to listen to your perspective about things. In closing, can you share with us what some words of guidance, or what you would tell somebody if they were trying to get better?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I would say is there is definitely hope. There's hope for 3 or 4 different reasons. First of all, your family, if you're struggling with addiction, your family wants you to get well. They love you, they care about you, they want you to get better. Your friends want to see you healthy. The law enforcement wants to see you making right decisions. The recovery center has people standing by wanting to give you the strength and help you need. Your medical physicians, they want to see you at full strength and health. And God the Father wants you to be happy. He wants you to enjoy the things in life that He's created for you to enjoy. So allow all of these individuals and God the Father to help you in the areas where you're reaching out for help. They are there. They will help you. They want to help you. And if you will take those steps, I can guarantee you, you will be moving in the right direction, and be on what we like to say, the road to recovery, because this team is on your side and wants to see you get better. So we tried our very best to offer that element of hope, because I know from talking to others that it seems dark, and it really does seem hopeless, and there's no way out. I've messed up too many times. God doesn't want me, my family doesn't want me, my friends don't want me, and that's just not the case at all. Everybody really wants to see you do well.
I'm pulling for you.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity to talk with you. And thank all of you for joining us on the Road to Recovery. Our co-host, Steve Rauch, and I'm Tricia Saunders from the Recovery Center. We appreciate your part in the collaborative efforts in our community by getting informed and being here with us today. Please join us again the next time on Road to Recovery.
Cotton balls, duct tape, spoon, needle, thread, scalpel.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.